Welcome back to Tough Men of Faith. What's up, RT?
Doing good, man. You?
Doing good. Been a good week.
Uh, yeah.
Okay.
I was trying to think what it's been like this week.
Yeah.
It's been okay.
You look hungry.
I'm real hungry. I feel like I say this every episode.
Yeah, I do too. It's like
But
you need a Snickers.
I could use a Snickers.
Yeah. Huh.
Or
If only we could find like a Snickers sponsorship.
a Snickers sponsorship. Yeah. Definitely not going to get a little Debbie
Yeah,
sponsorship.
Huh. So what do you want to talk about today?
Well, a few weeks ago we talked about the 5 things
Yeah.
that I learned.
Yeah.
We're going to go through that
That was
list
fun.
again.
Okay.
Another one.
Oh, okay.
But
Not the same 5.
not unless you need to go through back through the same 5.
Yeah. No, I think I'm good.
Okay.
I learned something today.
What'd you learn?
I learned that when you buy new shoes as an adult, people don't ask you if you can run faster or jump higher. And it's a little depressing.
I've seen those reels of sometimes like a grown man looking depressed, like,
Yeah.
I got these shoes, no one asked me if they made me faster.
Yeah, right.
So funny.
Yep.
Thanks to Workforce Chaplains for continuing to sponsor
Yeah, this is awesome.
some episodes.
Thank you guys.
Yep. Great organization if you're looking to help out your employees. And
Right? They
Great.
provide some spiritual
yeah.
spiritual health.
Yep. I love what they're doing. So
Yeah.
check them out, Workforce Chaplains.
Yeah, I think it's awesome.
5 things.
All right, what you got today?
So again, these are random.
Okay.
It's just like I keep a list on my phone
Yeah.
of things I'm learning.
Okay.
Whether it's in a meeting or I see it on social media or
I like it.
you and I are talking, I gain some wisdom and I just write it
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, that sounds like something you would normally gain.
Yeah. So the first one is this. Everything is a leadership problem.
Okay.
Some of these I'm still trying to process. But
Everything is a leadership problem.
yeah, if there's,
Like every problem is
Yeah.
ultimately a problem of the leadership.
I think so,
Okay.
predominantly.
I can see that
So I find it convicting because I've been at,
because you're a leader.
well, I lead at a church
Yeah.
and I've been here 6-7 years or so,
Okay.
and we have problems. And I usually want to blame those
Just
problems
means that you suck.
on other things, right? But it does, like most of it goes back to me, right? Where
Right.
I may want to blame others, but
Yeah.
ultimately, like,
end of the day, it falls on you.
end of the day, it falls on me. So if it's,
That's how I always was running a company too. It's like at the end of the day, my name's on it. It's my problem.
Yeah.
If my guys do something, it's on me. If we do something that turns out bad, and just because somebody else had their hands in it, it's still my problem.
when I want to blame circumstances, this hit me because last week I was blaming COVID for something,
Okay.
which like COVID was a tough season, right?
It
For
was.
many businesses and churches weren't excluded from that.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
it was
a lot of people shut down because of it.
a lot of people shut down, so it was tough. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like so we lost a lot of momentum, we lost people, and
Right.
just a lot of things happened. But now I look back, I'm like, yeah, we used to do this, we're doing a good job, but we're just not, COVID,
Yeah.
and just kind of keep moving, and everyone kind of accepts it, right? Yeah, it's COVID.
You can
But
blame anything on COVID
You
these days.
can, but isn't the problem a leadership problem from how, in this case, like taking a person, like how I responded? Like it's 3 years after, I guess COVID's still around, but we haven't been shut down for a long time.
Yeah.
So now if we're still having issues, like, hey, I should have led different during that time, right? It's
Maybe. Something to think about.
what, man, I really think like the problems in the country, right? Our country's a mess in some areas, right?
What?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Maybe it comes as a shock to you.
Really?
It comes down to leadership.
Yeah.
Like what are leaders doing?
Comes comes down to our president loving ice cream.
I don't know about that. But I just think that when there's issues, it's usually, I think almost every time,
Yeah.
it's a
goes
leadership
back to
problem.
leadership.
I mean, as men, we're to lead at home.
Right.
And so if you're having trouble at home, like we don't like hearing this,
Right. Leader sucks.
hey, you're the leader of that house.
Yeah.
So if you're having problems with your kids, your wife, like how are you leading in that home?
Right.
Are you just
Yeah. or
blaming
if
your
they're- or
wife?
if they're having problems.
Mhm.
Or if they're having problems with other people, how are those people being led in their home? You
Yeah.
know? Yeah. Good point.
So leadership.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be a leader until it gets
Until
pretty
it gets
lonely
tough.
at the top, and
Yeah.
then they want to blame other people. But
Oh yeah.
if you lead, man. It's
Yeah. Lead and own it.
own it.
Own everything.
Which is tough because I mean you ran a business,
Oh, yeah.
and so there can be things happen like several layers down from you,
Right.
and you're still responsible for
Like
it.
at the end of the day, you start looking back and recollecting, like ultimately it still falls on me.
Yeah.
Um,
Second one,
yeah.
actually, a guy named Jared Wilson. I follow him on X,
Okay.
and so he put this up, and it just hit me like a ton of bricks. He said, "When God closes a door, it may be because It may not be because he's going to open a window. It may be because he wants you inside when the building collapses. The question is, will Jesus be enough?
All right.
I kind of messed that up, but it's
Does
mainly
they
like,
want you inside when the building collapses?
so, a lot of guys will preach like, hey, when God closes a door, he may be opening a window for you to go through. Or God closes his door and he opens another door for you to step through. And
Yeah.
things are going to be great in your life. And you lost this job and he has this new opportunity where you're going to make a lot more money and be happier.
Right.
And so he's coming along and it's like, maybe God closed the door because he's not going to open a window and the house is about to collapse and he wants you in there when it collapses.
Maybe he wants to humble you.
He wants to humble you.
Yeah.
You're going to suffer for a reason. And it may be that you're not, it may not be that you need humbled. It could be. Could this be for God's glory alone that you're going to go through a rough time?
Yeah.
Like there's a purpose you can't see that's going to happen. And you need to be in that building when it collapses so that it can happen.
And how many times do we think that's happened? Like, you feel like you're walking through the valley today and you can't understand why.
Yeah.
And you don't really see the purpose of it, but, maybe it glorifies God somehow. And you might not ever know.
Yeah. But how often do you hear that message preached?
Not very often.
Right? Like, hey, the house is going to come down. God's probably not going to, he may not open another door.
You know what?
You're going to stay in there and
You
suffer.
should preach that.
That'll preach.
Yeah, that'll preach.
I get
I'll
exhausted.
be that guy in the back that says, yeah!
There you go. You need to get louder on Sunday mornings.
Man, I'll work on it.
It's been so quiet the last few weeks.
Man, it's hard, man. You got a couple amen guys, and
I know.
it's. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. You need to step up your game.
Well, sometimes I cut jokes because the lady that sits behind me, she says something, and then I'm like a parrot, and I say it a little louder.
Oh, I'm aware.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just
sorry
thankful
about
the
that.
live stream doesn't pick it up.
Yeah. Good
But
thing.
when I was thinking about this, like Stephen in the New Testament,
Yep.
the guy's serving Jesus, and he gets stoned. Like, could you imagine getting stoned? Like that. They throw stones at you till they kill you. Like that's
Talk
how
about
you
with
die.
stones.
That just can't. I can't picture that.
Right.
But
No,
that's
I
how.
can't imagine.
That's how God has him die. Like
Right.
that was his lot in life. To
Yeah.
like
How terrible would that be?
serve Jesus, and then I'm gonna have these people that you're trying to tell about Jesus come throw stones at you to kill you for me. And then we know from that like the message spreads and God's glorified through that and God uses him
Yes.
but that message isn't
That's a
preached
hard one.
much.
I'd be like Jonah in that story.
Right.
Yeah. Be like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I'm out
yeah.
of here.
No, this isn't what I signed up for in Christianity.
Yeah.
Right. So but that's what I think, we're talking to tough men of faith. Like if you're a tough man of faith, like this is what you're called to.
Yeah. And sometimes you might have to walk through a difficult season.
Yeah.
And not really understand why.
May never know why.
Right.
Yeah. I just thought the way he worded that was interesting because
Yeah,
this
it
kind
is.
of plays on the words. It's when he
Yeah.
goes like, God closes one door and he immediately opens another.
Not always.
Man, there's times when you're going to suffer.
Yeah. Huh. I can't wait to hear you preach that.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm gonna start probably literally laughing out loud when
I,
you say
yeah.
it.
Yeah. Well, that wouldn't be the first time. You ready for the third one?
Yeah.
The third one is this: is some people only talk about you because they lose the privilege. They've lost the privilege to talk to you.
Oh yeah. I got some people like that in my life.
Some people only talk about you because they lost the privilege to talk to you.
Yep. Yep. I've had a bunch of random people come up to me recently and just be like, "Heard you're starting a new job. I heard it from this guy." And it's like, that is so weird, man. But yes, I am. I have. But why are they
Yeah.
even discussing my personal life? I mean, we don't even talk anymore. We don't even communicate. It's so odd to me.
Yeah. I think this is a tough one to kind of think through because Karen and I were talking last night, and we're like, "Hey, what would we do different in our life?"
Yeah.
Like, and she was asking me, like, "What would you do different, like your leadership and things?" And I said, "I think the thing I would do,
Nothing.
yeah,
perfect.
nothing. I'm perfect." I said, "I don't think I would have let everyone speak into my life or take it to heart,
Yep.
what they would say to me." So there's a lot
Well,
of people.
another one that I learned from you too was to not take advice from people that I wouldn't give advice to.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
And that one hit me pretty hard.
Yeah. So I think like I don't take advice from people who never encourage me.
Yeah.
If the only thing they do is say negative, like.
Right.
Yeah. But on this, like, because I used to take it to heart when people would say things and
Yeah.
they try to stay close. And I think as a leader, you learn that, man, some people, you don't need them there. And then
Right.
when you go to like Proverbs 13:20, where a bunch of fools are going to be destroyed, what I was finding is I was really listening to a bunch of fools and joining in on that at times. And
Yep.
the end of that is destruction. But then the minute you stop hanging out with fools and stop participating in foolish things,
Yeah.
those fools are going to start talking about you
Yep.
because you're over here doing something different.
Exactly.
And so they're going to talk about you amongst that group. They're
Yep.
going to talk about you amongst the others. But
To
there's
anybody that'll listen.
anybody that'll listen
Yeah.
because they no longer have the opportunity to talk to
you.
you and tell you what you should be doing. And you're no longer listening to these fools. So
Yeah.
these fools are going to go tell everyone else about how bad you are.
I like that.
And man, that's when I was thinking through that and that
Yeah.
Proverbs 13:20 and how that kind of plays into that.
Yeah, kind of
That's
hits you.
true. Like
Oh, yeah.
some of the people I've kind of cut out. It's
Right.
because they were foolish, and
Yeah.
that's how I would be when I hang out with them. I'd be tempted to gossip.
Yep.
I'd be tempted to run in
That
that
would
circle.
join into whatever they're joining in or whatever they're doing. And
Yeah, but you get out of that circle and you start hanging out with people who are living a life of purpose and a life of vision and want to do big things for the kingdom, and
Yep.
they don't have time for the talking about everyone
Yeah, for
else
the crap.
and the crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's. But once you do, like, I think that's what I wasn't prepared for. That when you stop hanging out with some fools, those fools are going to have a lot to say about
Oh,
you.
yeah. Yeah, they always do.
Yeah. And then it's like the question, like, you don't have to respond to them.
Right.
Like, you don't have
Yeah,
to.
it's kind of one of the best things is when you don't. I think it
Yeah.
honestly drives them nuts more.
Yeah.
If you don't have a response for them.
That's like Nehemiah when he's building the wall.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they start making fun of him, like, hey, man, if a little fox walks on your wall, it's going to fall down and stuff. And he's like, hey, I'm up here building the wall. I don't have time to come down and answer you. Like, I don't have time to get on
Right.
Facebook and answer why you think this is dumb that I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Right? It's like,
Yeah. Nor do I care.
right.
Um,
Right.
Yeah, I have a purpose. and I'm
Sometimes I
following it.
care, though.
Do you really?
Well, I'm trying to get better at it, but yeah.
Okay.
I think words still hurt. Like,
Nah, dude. Big old sissy. I'm going to get a sign for this back wall that just says, don't be a sissy.
don't be a sissy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I just thought that was it kind of put it into words how I felt before.
Yeah,
right,
for
when
sure. I get
do
that.
things. So
What's your next one?
next one is always make time for your closest friends.
Okay. You should practice that for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't seen you in months.
I know. I'm still hanging out with my closest friends.
Oh, yeah. There it is.
I you know, we have circles of friends. I think you have
For sure.
You know, like that inner circle who's just your really close friends, and then maybe some acquaintances
Yeah.
and some family on a little bit outside. But I'm finding that I need to make sure I make time for those who are that inner circle.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's good for me to be around them.
Yep.
If they need something, I need to be there.
Yep.
Right? So if you call me
Oh, yeah.
tonight, even though I haven't had dinner,
Dude,
I'm heading
anytime I've
home.
called you, I think you've been there.
I need to go.
You know,
Right?
we moved grapes. We've
We have.
done other projects. You know, yeah, anytime I think I've called you, you've been there.
Yeah.
Um,
I think this shows like, hey, even when you're going through rough times, I want to be there.
Oh, yeah.
It's like from my perspective as a pastor, like there's a lot of people who will be my friend when the church is growing, my family's doing well.
Yeah.
Um,
It's like being a bandwagon fan.
yeah, like
you
there's
know?
a lot of people want to be my friend, but then
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, when times get tough,
times get tough, the church declining, I have a struggle in my family.
yeah, it's hard to
When I
find
really
people.
need them, like, where are you at? Right.
Right.
So it's
Yep.
and those closest friends, like I just think
Yeah,
you need
I
to
think
be
in
for
those
'em.
tough moments, you learn who your closest friends are.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's huge.
Yeah.
And even though like you might not see somebody every day or monthly, you know, it's funny how fast real old friends can pick up.
Mhm.
I mean, you know, pick up right where we left off last time.
Yeah.
And you know, I think that's a big thing too.
Yeah. Like we could show up at Key West again tomorrow and start fishing, and we could pick up right from where we left
Yeah,
off
if
last
you want
time.
to go, man, I'll book it.
Are you out of fish yet?
Nope, we still have a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. You haven't come over and tried any of it yet. You
I
caught
haven't.
half of them.
I caught way more than half.
Yeah. Here we go.
Right?
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know.
I don't know. I think our wives caught a bunch.
They did.
Yeah.
They
You
did.
know, when my wife started chumming the boat, you know, throwing up over the side, that's when the big fish started biting. So that was great.
We did catch some big ones once.
Yeah.
I don't want to mention when it happened, but.
Yeah.
All right, number 5.
I got one too. Number 5, take a pastor with you when you go deep sea fishing and have him pray first. That's something I learned this year.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think we got really lucky.
I don't think so, dude. I don't think luck had anything to do with it.
Yeah.
Yep. Pastor prayed, we caught fish.
Yeah. Well, I told you, it's like cast your nets on the other side.
Right?
Yeah, that's
That's
our-
you did say that too. Yeah.
That's
All
when
right,
I
what you
caught
got?
that blue, like,
Oh,
exotic
dude, that was
fish.
the coolest looking fish. I'm going to post it on the Facebook page later.
Throw it up there,
Yeah.
yeah.
That thing was cool.
Do you have a photo of it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put it on there later.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, number 5.
The real number 5. There are no losses, only lessons.
Okay. Sometimes you lose when you're getting taught a lesson.
Yeah, but if it's a lesson, is it really a loss?
Right, I got you.
Does that make sense?
Like there's a benefit from it. There's
Yeah.
a positive from being taught a lesson.
Well, because lessons they'll pave a way for you to have future success.
Exactly.
Right. So if you take a loss, but you learn something from it,
Right.
really what you've done is you've set yourself up for success next time.
Yeah, it's just a teaching moment.
Yeah. What do you think? So I think in theory that's easy to talk about, but like what would be a loss in your life that you think you've learned from that it's really a lesson? Do you have any like
I
examples?
do. Like I have one that kind of hits close to home, but it business related. But one, it was not following the books enough, like not being in the books enough and seeing the books enough, and then we ended up in a bad spot. And
Yeah.
you know, it's not necessarily my secretary's fault. It falls back on the leadership, like we talked about earlier. But at the same time, it's somebody else should have been seeing what was going on. And
Yeah.
they didn't, but I mean that was a huge one for me. Even last year, I mean we ended up in a bad spot because
Yeah.
I was in the field working more, and not in the books like I should have been.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it was definitely a teaching moment.
Yeah.
I learned a lot.
I've had a similar like this through some things like
Yeah.
especially in the nonprofit world. Like
Oh yeah,
it's easy because you work with volunteers, and volunteers are great.
Yep.
But someone's name's at the top of that 501c3.
Right.
And I've learned that if you're the president of that organization or the president of the board of directors, whatever it is, like
Yeah.
you're the one they're coming for.
Oh, yeah.
So you may have a lot of volunteers and people doing things, but
right. But you're ultimately the one.
you better check
Yeah.
and make sure things that people say are going to be done are actually done. And so
Right.
I've taken some losses
Oh, yeah.
and I've learned on that, and it's been good lessons for me
Yeah, for sure.
because
Yeah,
they were small losses, right? I
Right.
mean, so now when bigger things come along, like there's some things I've learned, a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of things I've learned right on
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah, you're exactly right.
that's true for any area in life, right? If you quit college, you lose a job,
Yeah.
a relationship that fails, right? It hurts,
Right.
but there's lessons to be learned
Yeah,
there.
but hopefully you learn something from it. That way you can succeed better in the future.
Yeah, like if
you
you're
know.
dating some girl and you do a lot of stupid stuff and that relationship ends, like,
Yeah.
hey, what are you learning from this?
Right. Exactly.
Or in
Yep.
parenting, like, man, I've done a lot of dumb stuff in parenting.
Right. Well, there's no real handbook for that one.
No, there's not.
You know,
There's not.
everybody's just kind of winging it.
Yeah, you just walk home with this kid and
Right.
try to figure it out, and not mess them up too bad.
Yep.
It's like, yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of the 5 things
Cool.
I wrote down
I like it.
this week. You want to walk back through them real
Yeah,
quick?
let's do it.
We have time. So, do you remember number 1?
No.
I didn't think so. That's why we're going back through. Everything is a leadership problem.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Everything, right? If you're
Yeah,
a leader,
and ultimately,
own it.
Yep.
All right. If
yeah. If you want to be the leader,
you want to be
you
the
gotta take
leader,
you got to take the good with the bad.
there's problems in the organization, problems in the family, right?
Yep.
Own it. Do something about it.
Yep.
The second one, a little bit longer one, but when God closes a door, it may not be because he's going to open a window. It may be because he wants you inside when the building collapses. The question is, will Jesus be enough?
Yeah. Well, hopefully you're humbled in the experience, and you
Yeah.
can see why.
Yep.
Um,
I think humble in experience, but then also the second part of that when he says, will Jesus be enough? Like,
Yeah.
if we say Jesus is all we need,
Or,
is that really true
Yeah,
when
you're
we hit a
trusting in
tough
Jesus
time?
Enough, even through the tough times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it's like a Job moment, when everything's taken away from you,
Right.
are you still going to praise God?
Yeah.
Which is tough to think about.
No kidding.
Yeah. The third one was some people only talk about you because they've lost the privilege to talk to you.
Right. Well, I think it kind of goes along with it's okay to cut people out of your life too. Know that they're going to say things about you. Know that they're going to keep up the negative.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, but it's okay to cut people out of your life. It's a very natural thing.
I think it's a biblical thing. It's something I've wrestled with, but
Yep.
there is like the Proverbs are clear. Like you need to hang out with wise people. Doesn't mean you don't minister to fools
Right.
or that you're not.
That's why we hang out.
Yeah. Does Rachel ask you, you're going to go minister to that fool
Yeah,
tonight?
all the
Will you go
time,
meet
yeah.
with me? Yeah. We still need to care about him, pray for him and things, but don't let
Right.
him influence you.
Yep, exactly.
Don't run in a circle. Number 4 is always make time for your closest friends.
Yep.
So I know we get busy.
Oh yeah,
You're going to need them. They need you.
Right.
All right. Iron sharpens iron. You need to be there for them.
every time.
Number 5, there are no losses, only lessons.
Yep.
So
I like it.
when life hits you hard,
Yeah. Well, don't think of it as a loss too. Think of it as a lesson in life,
Yeah.
and how can I become better after this is over?
yeah, it makes you evaluate like what did you
Yeah.
learn through this process
Right.
and things. Yeah. So I don't know. This has been fun to
Yeah,
walk back
I
through.
like this 5 things we learned every couple weeks. It's
Yeah,
kind of cool.
we'll do this every so often. But,
Okay.
So here's the thing: we're getting pretty good at this.
Yeah.
YouTube, make sure you subscribe.
Yep.
And share it. A lot of guys are on YouTube. Make sure you share it with them.
Yep.
Facebook.
Yep.
And
Check us out on X.
on X.
Yep.
If you want a shirt, reach
Yeah.
out on Facebook Messenger. We can get that to you.
Yep. And thanks
And
again to
Workforce Chaplains. So,
Yeah.
man, I'm excited about this season.
I am too. This is great.
Get some more interviews.
Yeah.
We
Sorry
got
you guys all have to see my ugly face, but
got the video
that's,
going.
That's
We haven't
producer
had-
Blake's idea, and that's where we're at
It
now.
was. We haven't had too many complaints yet about your face.
Yeah, that's good. I had one this week.
Did you really?
Yeah, a guy came up to me and said, "You are a lot uglier than I thought you were." I was like, "Well, you've known me for years, so."
Oh, so
Just
it's
goes
someone
to show.
already knew what you
Oh
look
yeah,
like.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I'm waiting for us to get messages about that's not what I pictured Nick looking like. Or
Right.
something. Yeah.
It probably is.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us.
Yep.
Make sure you share this with some guys. And
See y'all next week.
see you next week.
Awesome.